Hello everyone. So we're back again. This is going to be a short video. I'm just going to show you I already uploaded those two extensions. One is for scanning, integrating, basically integrates ZAP Scan with Burp Suite Community. If you're using Community, it doesn't have a scanning feature, and this also doesn't have any reporting feature. So what this extension is going to help you do is actually is going to bridge the connection between uh, ZAP and ZAP. Obviously, it's a free software that you can use, and also the community version of Burp, which is limited on a lot of aspects when it comes to reporting and scanning. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll be sharing this link on the video description. Let's go ahead and download those two files needed. All right. So after doing this, let's have Burp open. First thing I want to explain, if you are trying to create your own extension, you feel like there is something that you need to do and it would be served better if it's actually an extension. Just like what I did is I feel like I needed something that I can use just like VS Code or something where I could write a note on, maybe actually kind of like add symbols, any kind of like bulleting or numbering or something like that. Then that's when I came up with the idea of creating and I call it a notes editor. I already released it. You can also get that as well. I mean, the organizer is good, and I feel like it does not provide a rich text format. Like you can still use this. I mean, you can do it does have a noting feature, like something you can write a note on, right, while you're doing pen testing. But that's why I came up with the idea of creating my own. So let's go ahead and upload these two extensions. The first one is going to be the scan. Second one, the reporting. All right, this do apologize about this. I think I uploaded the wrong thing here when it comes to DAST scanner. This was a previous version. So let's go back. Well, probably add it from here. I think I chose the wrong file. All right, this is a new one. The old one didn't have this close ZAP because I noticed that when you're actually doing this, basically what it does is it starts the service or however you want to call it, the daemon of ZAP in the backend and uses the API to launch a scan and also the reporting does the same thing. Obviously, you would need what's called the ZAP API key. That is what I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, if you've been using this for a while, and sometimes it would happen because it has happened to me. If the daemon, like the ZAP daemon, is running on the background, and you try to open the application itself, it might not launch. So that's why I came up with the idea of uh, close ZAP. What it does is it just kills the service. You can click on it, it kills the service. No module to kill is basically telling you it's not running currently. So let's go ahead and open ZAP. The reason why I need to open ZAP is I need to show you how to get the API key. Once you get the API key, you can close it because the other two, the tool that actually is the extension, it can actually start the service by itself. So yeah, you can do API. come up here. This is one. So each time you can generate a new key if you want to. I'll go ahead and close it now because I don't need it. All right. So the first important thing that you need to do is actually, as you can see here, the configuration has multiple parts. One is the jar file, then the API key, then the port, then the URL. So you need to, whatever operating system that you're using, you need to actually click on the browse and go to the location where you have the software installed. In my case, it's going to be Windows machine, so it's going to be inside program files, and I believe it's ZAP. Yep. And when you open, and all right, when you open it, it's actually going to be in this folder. If you notice here, there is this jar file. So you need to point for this extension to work. You need to point it, kind of like select it and open, and make sure you this is populated, and also save it. Save the settings. That way, you know, if you need to reload the extension, you can get it next time. So each time you do this, one thing, the good thing about this extension is, once you copy and paste the API key once, you don't have to do it each time you open up. Even if you reload the extension, you don't have to. It gets saved into a settings of with your burp settings. So what you need to do is once you actually upload this, and the other thing is, you need to point this to the jar file where ZAP is installed, so this thing can actually work better. Actually, that's the only way it could work, because that's it makes the API call. All right, so then you're gonna go ahead and do is gonna save, and it's gonna tell you configuration updated and saved. So after that, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you right now, as a matter of fact, just to prove to you, I can close it. Let's wait for all the extensions. As you can see, it loaded up. So everything is saved. The first thing you need to do, obviously, ZAP is not, it needs to be connected. Like the daemon needs to start, the service needs to start on the back end. It's not going to open the UI. So that's the reason why. And it's running this, and it's going to tell you in a minute once it connects. And once you do that, the next thing you're going to do is actually, ZAP has a feature called scans based on a scan policy. So first thing you need to do is just load this. If it connects correctly, it would actually load up the policies. But if not, you probably need to click launch again, and it is actually connected already. So I'm going to use a default scan. I do have a lot of scan policies because I'm using, I actually have the ZAP's development environment as well. I'm trying to modify that. So that's the reason why I have multiple policies. But if you have the default installation, it's probably going to have, unless you create your own policy and you've been using it, then it's going to populate here. So I'm going to use the default policy. Now I have an application already running, my own application that I created, a vulnerable application. The Pinewood store, it is running. It's inside Eclipse, as you can see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick off the scan first. All right. So let's start scan. And the way you would know is actually if I open this up and you see this starts like the logs on the console starts moving because ZAP is sending a lot of requests. All right, while this is scanning, let's go ahead and take a look at the UI of the ZAP reporter. Now the ZAP reporter does have the same thing. You need to actually expand this and put the API key the first time you actually uploaded the extension. But the good thing is, like I said, even if you remove the extension and add it back in, it will remember this API key. And also you can open up the tool again, that is ZAP. You can generate a new API key if you want to. And the other thing, the nice feature about it is actually you can open this up, and I just want to let you know right off, some of some of the templates are kind of like they might not be working as they should. So right now the traditional and the modern work, they look great. The report looks great. Like this is for exporting the report to uh, a document. Maybe you want to share it with a friend or something like that. So those are the two that actually fully functional right now. I know for a fact the PDF is just not working. I just need to troubleshoot it, and maybe on the next release, once it starts working, I'll just update it. But yeah, those two working, the traditional and the modern. I think I like the look of the modern, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose that. So let's go back to the scan. As was already 58%. And also, like I said, if I open this up, you can see you'd also see on this, even though it's moving fast, you should see something that says ZAP. Basically, ZAP sending different requests, check to see, XSS and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and I would like to. This is not gonna take long because I didn't spider and gave it all kind of like usually if you are doing any automated scans, it is the same thing with Burp as well. You have to go click on the different functionality. So Burp or ZAP, whichever one, they use the same technique, but they have to build what's called the site tree. Once they build the site tree, they can actually send different payloads to the different endpoints and test the different vulnerabilities. So I didn't do it on my side because I wanted this to be kind of like short. So what it is gonna scan is just gonna scan the home page. It might not even see the other pages, but I do have other pages. So the reason why I'm explaining this is just letting you know it's gonna finish faster. So while it is doing that, so we have this configuration. The first thing, put you need to make sure that the API key is the same in here. The active API key. And I believe this one is the active API key I'm using. So if not, you can go back and open up the tool. One thing, like I said, you might have a problem opening up when ZAP has a daemon running which is initiated to this extension. Like when I try to open it, it just keeps closing itself. So if you need to do that, that's why the close ZAP button is introduced. You can close that. Obviously, that's gonna stop the scan. So. All right, so let's go ahead. I believe I probably would have a few alerts related to vulnerability, so I can probably start now. Just click on generate, and it's going to try to generate the report. Yeah, generate the report. The first thing it's going to show you is it's going to show you a summary, right? It's going to say you have this much critical, this much high, medium. Then it has a multi-tabs. So you can just go here and here and here and see which one is that you need to check. Most of the time, obviously, high and critical are the ones that are actually the first thing you need to check. The reason why it doesn't have the critical tab, or you want to call it column, is because it doesn't have any critical vulnerabilities. Well, what ZAP considers critical vulnerabilities are not here, so that's the reason why it's 0 count, so you don't see that column. In any case, what you can do, the other thing you can do is there's a cross-site scripting that it detected. I know for a fact there is one, so you can select on it and you can see while inside being in ZAP. As you can see, I'm inside the ZAP repeater and all that stuff. So. For anyone who's using the community version, they don't have the scanning functionality. They can actually use this extension and kick off a scan. And also, like I said, I'm releasing the source code. Also, if you feel like there's improvement that needs to be made, yeah, you can improve it too. Yeah, copy the source code. to your folder and start working on it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you the nice part of it, about it is actually you can export this report. I feel like I have enough now, so I can export that. So let's leave, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, ZAP Burp report. And I'm going to leave the file name defaulted. I believe, let me put it somewhere where I can find it easy. All right. So you might see sometimes it's just error handling. It did generate the report, and also the scanning is still going. So the one thing I did, yeah, when obviously you're gonna see on the source code as well, it is using a different thread from the one that the UI is using. Because initially what I did is when I started working on this, it was using the same thread as the UI. So each time you kick off a scan, each time you try to pull a report, this UI would freeze. So that is actually being fixed. Right now they're using separate threads, so you don't see any problems with scanning, and I can actually kind of navigate through it, the different routes. So with that being said, let me show you the reports. Here we have it. Let's open it up. Yeah, this is I'm calling it Burp ZAP report, security report. That's why it's named that way. But yeah, it is very nice, and you can click on this, and you can see it would give you. I found this vulnerability, and this is obviously this is a payload to use. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, this is gonna be a short video because I already have another video out. I just wanted to show people what if you need to do that. And the other thing is, like I said, obviously we don't want to leave the thread open. You want to close ZAP. So what you need to do is just gonna come in here and click on ZAP, close ZAP, and it should ZAP. As you can see, ZAP shutdown initiated successfully through API. ZAP started. So that's it.